We are prepared to talk in the next 50 minutes, 1 hour, about private capital and strategic infrastructure. These are topics that we already touched in the first two panels, but we have the chance to bring on the table some new perspectives from professionals active in slightly different areas. And it's my pleasure to welcome you, gentlemen. Thank you for accepting this invitation. We are in the same vein of effort, that is to introduce the London business environment with the Romanian capabilities at the moment in terms of technology, business approaches and mentality also. And I will start with something which is, in my view at least, very unknown outside Romania. And this is related to the changes that Romanian companies are entertaining in terms of governance. Mr. Chiriță earlier said something about this, talked about the team and also the approaches the Electrica has, but I'm quite anxious to listen to Ciprian Laduncă, representing not only Adrem, but a large pool of people working for better governance in Romania. Thank you very much for being here. Tell us a few words about where is Romania now compared with 5 years or 10 years ago.
Thank you for the invitation. It was a long day, and we are the last panel, and we really hope we will add information that will be useful for the ones that are still here with us. Related to governance is that ingredient that is needed in order for a company to have success. Now, if we are considering today's context, what was discussed in this event, we have a clear message from the authorities, in the sense that Romania it's a good place to invest in. In the same time, from a part of the ones that discussed earlier, we understood that geopolitics and other aspects like this should be considered when it will be the case to invest in one or another part. So this means risk, this means judgment, this means decision, and the governance is supporting practically the process of taking a good decision. Also, in the first panel, we understood from the colleagues that presented that there are a lot of opportunities in Romania, a lot of projects. From Electrica, we find out that they are considering to have another 1 billion bond to use for investments. Other colleagues mentioned about a project, significant number of megawatts to be deployed in Romania. So again, the projects are there. Seems that the money are there. And now, if we are going to our topic of the panel, financing and infrastructure, practically, and how these are matching in Romania, we may see and we may observe in Romania that the financing, of course, is not easy to be obtained, but a lot of options are considered by companies. We are able to see IPOs of the energy companies, and we need to remember the one 3 years ago as Hidroelectrica, but others that are in place or were already finalized. We have minority shareholders that are entering in the companies that are funded by a family or a group entrepreneurs. So sources for financing exist. And again, to your question, governance. With a good governance, the ones that want to invest in a company have a more comfort to invest. The fact that it's a board there, that it's a committee, and it is a structured way in the decision process allows or let's say facilitate obtaining the financing. So in short, I mentioned that it is an ingredient, but it is maybe the one that without a financing will not be easy to be attracted.
You mentioned the stock market as a benchmark for confirming the quality of governance in companies. And I thought about two examples in Romania. Simtel is one of the companies very active in the renewable energy, which is listed. These days, Electroalpha also entered the market and entered the stock exchange. They are the most recent and powerful examples. What specifically changed with such companies in order to be part of the stock exchange?
For the companies that already are on the stock exchange, there are rules, regulations to follow, are minimum criteria to be respected when we are discussing governance. So legislation change, of course, in the last years was adopted. It is in line with EU. It is in line with OECD principle. Already the capital market chapter from OECD accession was achieved. So it is a plus. So a lot of things change in this direction. When we are discussing to the companies that are not listed, it is important to add that they need to prepare the companies before a listing or before financing, obtaining a financing from a minority shareholder or from an investment fund. The governance for the non-listed company, it's not very easy to be implemented. First, due to the, let's say, the aspect that it's a new concept in Romania, and second, because it's not a mandatory aspect yet for non-listed companies. So when these two aspects are to be solved and the entrepreneurs, the companies will understand the benefits of having a good governance, in the next stage, the financing, regardless the type of financing, will be easy to be achieved.
I suppose that competition on attracting money will force the company to become better in terms of governance in order to get access to such money. And I know already about 3 important companies in Romania, largely entrepreneur driven, started as an entrepreneurial effort, which are preparing already for being listed, which is great. I will move to Stelian Favieli and ask you, please, tell us a few words about private capital in energy, because your company and your projects are examples of not necessarily waiting for public schemes or for other forms of support before entering into important projects, but in contrast, starting boldly before that.
Yes, so thank you for inviting me. I think I will add a little bit also to this, as Nofar, as it's well known, is we are listed in the stock exchange in Israel. Okay, so I think it's, of course, it's much more mature. So for your question, what happened in Romania, I think this step by step, the market is starting to be more mature in this sense, and companies have projects. And I don't think that it's only the companies, but it's also the investors. Okay, the investor from outside, at the end when you are listed, somebody needs to put the money. So when you are looking now on the market, the energy infrastructure, you cannot compare it to what it was just 4 years ago. When we entered in Romania, in 2020, the end of 2021, beginning of 2020, there was nothing almost. Okay, everybody was speaking, if everybody remembers the first wave, if it will be the second wave.
It was not nothing.
The wave.
There were a lot of discussions.
No, a lot of discussion on waves. If the second wave will be, we understand it's not a wave anymore. I think, at least this is my opinion, and it's going to be for the long term. regarding the question. So basically, as we entered, and everybody knows, to get financing, it takes time. First of all, when you apply for a financing, okay, so they tell you it's 6 months, 9 months. We all know that it's at least 1 year, but never mind. So now you are you need to choose. You are waiting to see if it's being financed or you take the risk. This is pretty much the question that every developer is asking, and you need to know how much risk you can take. Okay, this is basically. So this is one point. The second point is all the public programs, I will call it like this, well known, and we have a lot of experience in Romania. I will say it nicely, not all the program at the end were a success, okay? So it's also a risk, okay? If you are waiting for a modernization fund,
you should expect delays at least.
Delays, and you don't know really when you will get the money. So you are in the same position. So this is again, as a developer, and we are in a market that everything is moving very fast. Okay, if we are now, let's say, talking about batteries, so it's clear that who will have the batteries fast will make more money. It's not a question, it's clear. So now you need to, I invest now in the batteries or waiting for the financing, because how much financing we had in Romania for batteries? Almost nothing till now. Now it is starting to move because there was no market. But it's clear that the financing will come one step after. So I can tell Nofar, we are going to put, first of all, our equity, our private money, and we are going forward, and we are going to build exactly as we build also the solar. If you remember, we were the first that built it and connected Atest with our partners. And now the same, we are always starting with our own equity. We are going with our private money, we take the risk, and then the finance is incoming after. And I think in order to be in this competition, it's a must to go in this way. Who is waiting or wishing, at the end, it might happen, but you are losing a little bit on the way.
Many say, I think I also said before, that this new revival of the renewable energy in Romania is pretty much based on 3 channels of financing: PNRR, Fond de Modernizare, CFD. Okay. Your intervention is pretty much in contrast with that. It say you are more successful if you use your own money, if you move fast. Is there a tension? Is there something that I don't understand, in fact?
I think that there are more sources of financing. Okay. This is, you spoke about the public, but a lot of companies, big companies, okay, we are getting financing from EBRD, IFC, and the local banks. Look at Ratest. Yes, we connected it in 2023, we started it in 2021. Okay, we got financing, it was published everywhere, from Raiffeisen Bank. No public, no. So I think the financing is there, and this I speak in 2021 when it was really, let's say today, I think the local bank, you have a lot of sources of financing. The one that you mentioned are coming to help let's say the market. As you know, we also have and we gain a CFD program, and probably we will be the first that will connect a CFD program. So let's see how it will work. We wish that it will be like in the contract. But again, it's coming to help you in the market. It's not the only source, and it's not somebody that developer that want to develop will find how to develop.
One more question for you, and maybe the same one for Will afterwards. We talked about earlier in the first session about financing the scale. So how can we find the money, where from, in order to build up more renewables or batteries in Romania? Do you think there is still space for new private money, private capital in order to scale, to continue growth in the Romanian renewable industry?
Yes, we know that we have a target all over Europe, also in Romania, to get to X percentage. We are not there yet. We have a lot of plans, but we didn't build it, okay? So we have a lot of authorizations, but at the end you need to build it. In order to build it, you need money. And again,
And you are confident that this money will come from private sources? Because I can't see really new schemes with public support coming.
Oh, but it will come, because we can go like the green bond, like what Electrica done, also Nofar, also Resolve can do it. Everybody can do it in the market. So it's not something that you need to choose if you want to do it, because you pay a price. Nothing is free.
Yeah.
So you have private money. Yes, public money I don't see much in the next future, because the market already is one step in front already, and it's pretty much more mature than 3-4 years ago. So, and yes, private money is welcome, because we need also, again, I will say it again, we need to build all these plans, and every day I'm entering into the news, in yours, in others, and so on. Another one, we are going to build 1.5 giga. We are going to build 600 mega.
There are many examples of companies announcing the construction start.
But at the end, nobody really builds what he says, okay? But at least part of it, if everybody will build it, then we will have a market.
Because of such announcements, it makes sense for us in Energynomics to work on this PV monitor projects and actually put a label on each project with the number and what stage it is at a specific point of time. Will, please tell us a few words about your projects in Romania especially, and how they are financed.
So we have around 200 megawatts, 200 megawatts in Romania, and they are privately financed, both via our own equity, but also third-party debt. I wouldn't, to the kind of question that you were posing earlier, I wouldn't really see a huge issue in additional private capital coming into the market. I think, as Romania moves towards the OECD, and as the AIB steps and hurdles are completed, that will open up a lot of capital for the market. You have a lot of institutional investors who, even silly things, they might just have a concentration ratio that is non-OECD, and this kind of will start to fall away. But just generally speaking, less cost of energy is good. I think there's good strategic angles for Romania. And if you look at on the battery side, yes, okay, you're taking a bit of merchant, very much at this moment, a lot of merchant risk, but as the market stabilizes, there's more kind of off-take opportunities, all those private capital sources will flow into the market, and it's happened in Western Europe, and it's kind of maturing through now to Romania and other parts of CE, so I wouldn't say there's a long-term problem around that.
Okay, thank you. I will move to Mehmet, and it is another type of company. It's a Turkish-based and starting a company present in Romania. How did you make your way out? I will prepare the presentation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity as well to being here. Actually, the motivation coming to Romania was somehow different. The background of ours is myself is actually used to be a consultant. I was more than 10 years in Europe in McKinsey and BCG. And in the last 10, 15 years, I was entrepreneur in Turkey. We were doing three things. We were investing in small solar power plants in Turkey. I have a small portfolio of 50 megawatts there. And then we are doing EPC work in Turkey, plus prosumer work. So we were like buying and selling electricity. In 2023, I put like a consultant slide, which is behind me. I said the number should be big, you know, like the people here, 2 gigawatt, sounds good. So I started in 2023, Go Europe 2 gigawatt. And that, of course, I said in 5 years, I would like to have 250 megawatt of this COD. Hearing all this from the first panel, second panel, it's like my numbers are small compared. So the first thing I went look to the, you know, like consultant, all the markets in Europe, and I have seen some movement, some Turkish investors going into the Romania, and as a result, I said, okay, we'll study Romania. It sounded good. Actually, I was looking to the reports of Nofar and some other big companies who are doing there, and it was impressive. And then I bought 3 projects. Actually, out of these 3 projects, the first one we built it together with a small team. It's 10.2 megawatt. It's operational. We are right now ordered as well the batteries. I understand speed is good. In terms of financing, it was private money of ourselves. Plus, we found some financial institutions who were good enough to loan money to us in this project. And we are actually having a good plan for the next 3 years. We are aiming at the end of the 3 years like 150 megawatt kind of a PV in Romania, and in the range of 350 megawatt of batteries in 3 years' time. The first one will be the first year, 2026, plus maybe the second quarter, 2027, 100 megawatts of batteries. And since we have a network in Turkey, people are coming to us and saying, okay, let's build us together. So that's the private money coming from Turkey into the direction of Romania. The motivation was really diversifying the Turkish risk. And I think the other Turkish investors are doing the same thing. There are more of them. There are many projects, but there are like 5 or 6 reasons that myself as well, the other Turkish investors are choosing in Romania. First of all, it's Europe compared to Turkey. Although you fly like less than an hour from Istanbul. We are aiming like 10 to 15% of IRRs in Romania. There is a lot of capacity build-up coming. So I am somehow, concerned with that much of electricity coming. In country, the price will go down in Romania, but it will be marginal, I think, in the next 2-3 years. There's lots of battery buildup is coming. So I sort of a bet on 2 things in the Romanian market. The first one is a phase out of the coal plus nuclear maintenance in the next 5 to 10 years. That will reduce the capacity. Then the export to direction of Ukraine as well, Hungary. I think these are the things which will sort of compensate the energy which is coming online. Until now, of course, nothing is easy, especially for somebody if you enter into a new country. Until now, it's going well. I think Romania is a very welcoming country for investors until now, and I hope it will stay that way. So that was the motivation. It was different. and I'm happy to be there.
Thank you. For somebody like me, for example, might seem a little weird to have a Turkish businessman promoting Romania as a destination country in London. How do you feel about it?
Good question, actually. The first thing is, you know, nobody knows me and nobody knows my company. So it's a good idea to put something onto the screen. Of course, I know some of the people who were on the audience because I did some deals with them or made some business interactions. So what I'm looking is I will be investing more and more. So there will be definitely developers, people who are developing in this audience. And the second thing is actually I'm bringing sort of a lots of, you know, you got a good network as well. I'm bringing from Turkey as well, you know, some of the investment people here in London will as well have a good gatekeeper or gate to Romania through like companies us. We are more like, if I hear like anything here is above 50 to 100 megawatt. I am in the range like 5 to 10 megawatt. My biggest project is I just sort of sold 65 megawatt to a Turkish investor who would like diversify in the European market starting in Romania. So having said that, you know, I'm heavily investing. All our projects are becoming more co-located PV plus BESS, because I think BESS at the beginning you can make money, no idea about it. But on top of that, down the road in the 3 to 5 years, when the electricity prices will be going down, it's sort of an insurance of your PV assets. At least that's the way I see it. Although I separately handle them as a private business units.
Thank you, Mehmet. And I think that the three of yours, with all the difference in scale, let's say, you are betting your money on the market alone for the near future in order to have the returns. And I would like to come back a little bit on what you see is happening, will be happening in Romania during the next 5 years, let's say, in terms of prices and getting back the money invested. But I will now give the floor to Eduard Goean, because he has promised to present us with another way of getting money for the renewable projects. Am I too bold in saying this, or is that correct?
Let's hope that we don't raise the expectation too much. So it's mainly a research run here in UK through University of Surrey. But I involved in this research using Surrey University as a platform. I involved in this research plenty of professors, researchers, scientists from all over the world. We had almost 30 people from China, United States, Australia, Taiwan, Europe, of course, UK, India, and so on. So it's that kind of research which try to cover not just different geographic areas, but different perspective, different way of understanding, and the way how to implement such a mechanism. The carbon tokenomics model, the mechanism designed by Term Group in partnership with the University of Surrey, it's wanted to become an alternative not only on offsetting carbon footprint in tourism industry, but it's finding a way how to identify a new pool of green investments, especially for green energy. In this mechanism, we feel that we need researchers from tourism industry, and that's why we select University of Surrey, because the School of Hospitality in the University of Surrey is #1 in UK, #1 in Europe, and #2 in the world regarding research in tourism industry. But also because inside the Surrey Business School, we identified the Academy of Blockchain and Metaverse Application, and we run 2 different other research about a new blockchain model, which we need, and about a 3-tier token and a completely new consensus mechanism. But let me be a little bit more focused. We wanted to design such a mechanism for the tourism industry because we consider that the tourism industry is the Cinderella of whole economy. Everyone who is going to buy a plane ticket or finding accommodation, everybody is looking for the cheapest price. So €1, $1 is making the difference. That's why it's very, very difficult to convince the market to offset the carbon footprint. The margin is very small. And we thought that if we will be able to design a mechanism which will convince the market for the tourism industry, it's very easy to multiply it and to reshape it for other economic sectors as well. In tourism industry, we are talking about 3 major players. The tourists, which are looking for the cheapest price. We are talking about the NGOs, environmental NGOs, which are saying, please don't travel, in order to decrease the carbon footprint. And also, we are talking about the service providers, the companies which are looking for increasing the profit. So in which way you can accommodate in such a way not to stop traveling, to have access to the lower prices, but also to support the industry and to support the companies. We believe that carbon tokenomics model might be the solution. But everything is starting with the egg. How we can convince the market to accept our mechanism and to raise the necessary money to finance the green energy projects if we are not extremely accurate regarding the value of the carbon footprint. I tried to identify several carbon footprint calculators together with my research team in University of Surrey, and we were not very happy with the result. That's why we apply for a KTB project in partnership with the UK government, in fact with Innovate UK. 50% of the money coming from Term Group, the other part of the money are coming from Innovate UK, and we are using University of Surrey as a platform. We have the money to run the research by ourselves, but we believe that for more credibility, we needed to let the UK government to step in, to have the full control about how the money are spending in this research project, and in the same time to convince the market that our approach is completely different. So the KTB project is going to cover during 3 years 5 different carbon footprint calculators using blockchain technology and artificial intelligence. It's a new generation, completely new generation of calculators. And the first one was designed for civil aviation.
ATP DEC is a life cycle-based method for calculating the emissions footprint of a flight on a per passenger basis. It follows an ISO 14083 aligned cradle-to-grave scope, covering fuel production and use, in-flight services, and airport and aircraft life cycle emissions. It also includes aviation's non-CO2 impacts, nitrogen oxides, water vapor, and contrail-induced cloudiness, modeled using dynamic equations. The method begins with flight distance. ATP DEC calculates the Great Circle distance, then adjusts it using historical adjustment factors derived from rolling 7 or 30-day windows of real flight data. These factors refine distance and latitude to reflect actual routing changes from weather, airspace restrictions, and operational behavior. Validation across more than 30,000 flights shows these adjustments closely track post-flight emissions and improve accuracy over static methods. Fuel burn is modeled using aircraft-specific data and polynomial regression, with an age factor to capture aircraft efficiency. Total CO2e is then calculated using standardized well-to-tank and tank-to-wake factors. Carry-on luggage, checked luggage, and cargo are separated, so emissions can be allocated strictly to passengers using standardized mass data and a refined passenger load factor. passenger class emissions are allocated using aircraft-specific seat layouts, allowing fair distribution across first, business, premium economy, and economy. Additional components include in-flight services and airport and aircraft life cycle factors. Non-CO2 impacts use historical adjustment factor, refined distance and latitude to produce multipliers for NOx, H2O, and CIC. The final output is a detailed per-passenger emissions breakdown for each class, with modular components that can be included or removed as needed. By connecting with the carbon tokenomics model, ATP DEC provides actionable opportunities for passengers to invest in green projects, such as sustainable aviation fuel refineries. Overall, ATP DEC delivers comprehensive scope, high accuracy, and full transparency.
Yeah, so when we start this project, we were thinking that maybe we are crazy because our competition is Google. Our competitor is ICAO, the international agency which embedded all the governments in the world, and they are making all the aviation safety security rules. And the biggest NGOs involved in this is MyClimate. So when we started to design this calculator, we know exactly that it will be very difficult to step in and to convince the market that our calculator is different, it's better. But in the moment when we apply to the best research magazine in the world, Nature, and in the moment when they accept our research, and after the peer review, they agree that our methodology is the best one, the whole world react in a very, very interesting way. All the competitors, including Google, were contacted by the research magazine, by specialists, and they said, yes, they are measured in a different way, in a more dynamic way. Using artificial intelligence, they are capable to do things which we never think we are able to do. More than this, we are the first research team in the world which covered the non-Kyoto impacts. All the other carbon footprint calculators are using only the gases from the Kyoto Protocol. But we calculate and we demonstrate, scientifically demonstrate, that the real carbon footprint released by each passenger is much more higher than what we know in this moment. So a higher carbon footprint means a higher price to be paid. In which way you can convince a passenger to pay more in order to offset the carbon footprint? So this is the trickiest question. And this is why we involve so many researchers to come with ideas and to find the solution. And we believe that using blockchain technology and using artificial intelligence, we are capable in this moment, and of course the three-tier token mechanism, we are capable in this moment not only to convince the passenger to pay more to offset the carbon footprint, but also the companies to accept this mechanism in the next future.
If I may, I will jump in. I will try to make a conversation a little bit more friendly for all of us, because it's very technical, but I think we got enough of it in order to talk a little bit about. My first comparison when I listened to you, today, not necessarily when we spoke last week, is that what we have here is a mechanism similar with the one which put money in the modernization fund. The EU put some price on the carbon, on CO2, forced us, all of us to pay for it, that CO2. We got the money in a specific fund, we use it for building renewables projects, let's say. Is this a right comparison?
No. My expertise is in tokenomics, economy on blockchain. So I believe that using blockchain technology, using artificial intelligence, we are capable to generate some incentives which are not possible to be generated in the world as we know in this moment, in the model of economy which are used to run day by day.
A clear difference is that the payer is not forced to pay, but he will choose to do it.
You will choose to do it because the incentives and the things which you get back are much more.
What exactly will I get back as a buyer of a ticket?
Let's see the next movie and then I explain to you.
Okay.
Economics model, or CTM, is a breakthrough way to finance decarbonization in the visitor economy. Developed by Thermi Group and rigorously tested and verified by the University of Surrey and global academic partners, Carbon Tokenomics model combines science, blockchain, and retail finance. First, carbon emissions are measured with dynamic calculators, like the Air Travel Passenger Dynamic Emissions Calculator, which has been peer-reviewed and published in the Nature portfolio. Travelers then pay a small carbon fee, which is pooled into verified green projects such as sustainable aviation fuels to access dividends and even governance rights through governance tokens. Unlike taxes, the carbon tokenomics model makes climate action rewarding, transparent, and growth-aligned, turning everyday travel and leisure into a driver for global sustainability.
Yeah,
we missed
the best part.
Yeah.
We missed the best part. Let me explain how it works. So let's suppose you are flying from Bucharest to London, and the calculator will tell you that you have to pay an extra £1. Let's say it roughly. And if you agree to pay this extra £1, in the next moment you receive on your phone an application. You can apply for this application, and you will have access to a social platform on blockchain. The social platform will allow you to talk with other participants in the mechanism, but also with an artificial intelligence. And it's also coming embedded with an electronic wallet. So you will be able to see, using this platform, exactly in which green project your money are invested. You can see exactly each phase of implementation. At the end of the project, you'll be able to see on a standard issuer, which is coming and calculating the carbon credits. You'll be able to see in which way an international environmental NGO is coming and calculating the additionality or the quality of the carbon credits. The whole information is embedded in a token, a carbon token, an NFT, which is going back to your electronic wallet. So you pay some money, but you receive back a digital asset, which represent your investment in a green project.
Okay, so you are good with the planet, but not only that, but you are becoming an investor in a specific project, and you get all the information on that.
Exactly. But okay, this doesn't mean that you offset the carbon footprint. If you really want to offset the carbon footprint, you are going back on the blockchain, you burn the first token, and you will receive, means you really offset the carbon footprint, and you receive, without doing anything else, the second token, the investment token. The investment token will allow you to have access to the profit generated by the company, the green energy company where your money were invested. So in time, the £1 which you spent in offsetting the carbon footprint could become £2 or £20 or £200. It depends how long you are going to stay inside the mechanism. But all these tokens can be sold inside the mechanism on the blockchain between the participants.
One more question on this topic. We stay quite a long time on it. Is this business model, or is this model based entirely and only on the good faith and love of the nature from the people?
No. People are greed, and people want to make more money, and wants to make more money easier. This is this mechanism is not for today's society. We believe that in the future, AI and blockchain technology will replace what we know that people are doing businesses day by day. We believe, I'm in contact with gaming companies. They wanted to make a game with this and to learn the new generation how to use the blockchain technology and digital assets. But it's not just this. It's inside this mechanism, we have an artificial intelligence which is ranking all the participants. So if you are coming, if you are voting, if you are participating with new ideas, how to increase the profitability in a decentralized autonomous organization, in that moment, your score inside the mechanism is going higher. And at some point, the AI might decide that you become a validator between other transactions inside the blockchain. So you start to make money between transactions between completely different people. So the blockchain technology is capable to generate incentives which doesn't exist. And people, in order to make more money, will be more active than we need today. So it's the democracy of the future.
Thank you very much for this presentation. Is a form of second life or something like that, which might take off, hopefully, because it is based on science and it is also based in people psychology. So hopefully it will go and will make some money for your projects in the renewables. Before that happens, what are you counting on for the next 5 years, let's say? I would be afraid of the cannibalization and the price decline and so on. How do you cope with that?
So I think it's very simple because we invest, as Nofar, we invest in many countries, the US, Spain, Germany, so on. I don't think that Romania will be something different. As we can see, I will say it like this, nobody died yet, okay? So who invested in Spain, which we know very good what are the numbers, still surviving and still there are solar projects, still working there. We need to look also on the, because it's not that sometimes I hear it from, I will say, unprofessionals, okay? Yes, you are building a solar plant, and then you are selling it to the grid, and this is it. It's not like this, okay? This is really very simple, okay? And it's not working like this. You are building, you make it hybrid, you are making trading, that we all know that it's a very complicated, and the calculations are, you are taking all together. And also, I think that Romania, how many, I will say it, real PPA were signed in Romania? Few. So we are just in the beginning. If you go to Western Europe and so on, you see.
So
okay.
You expect an advancement, rapid advancement of the PPA market?
I believe, yes, as we said, we are AIB and so on, and Picasso, and you have a lot of nice names like this that we should enter into. Okay, so we are still, maybe the question to everybody here, why we are investing in Romania in the last few years, because it was undeveloped. Very simple. It's not that we are nice people like in the blockchain, okay? It was undeveloped, so everybody came to Romania. If you were opening the map and you look 3 years ago, okay, which is a big country with potential, with, let's say, the land is very cheap, with workforce and so on, where is it? Romania. You couldn't find other country. By the way, Poland, we know it's 5 years in front of us or whatever. I don't speak on Western Europe and the possibilities, and you have the sun and you have the wind and you have a lot of potential in Romania that nobody developed. Okay, so this is why everybody now came. And yes, it might be that in 2 or 3 years we will have some decline in the prices, but not a decline that is killing your project. You know, all of us are using Baringa, Aurora. You can see that Romania looks very good if you compare to other countries. Okay, in the next, I speak about in the next 5-10 years, it looks stable, let's say it like this. And again, I don't think that all what is said will be built again. Also, all these batteries that we are speaking, just
will be built and operational. Yeah.
it won't be 5 giga of batteries in the next 3 years. Come on, it won't happen. But you know, 350, 1 giga, 2 giga, 7 giga. Come on, we are not there. It's not going to happen because you will start to plan it, but then you will see, you will check the market. You are not jumping into the pool without having water inside. Okay, so it's, you know, so we are not looking. We are looking at the end, all of us, developers, investors, we are looking to make money. And this is why we are looking at 10, 15 IRR. And if you will see 5 IRR, you will stop investing. So always the demand
we are
and
not
the
there
supply.
yet. Thank you, thank you.
Be.
Will, you heard the landscape that Favi painted. Are you still interested in developing and scaling up your presence in Romania? And what are the main points that convince you to do this?
Yeah, we're certainly interested in continuing to scale up in Romania. I think actually, you know, this year, calendar year, is probably quite a good year for various reasons to get, you know, more exposure for a company like us to Romania. You know, the type of projects, you know, standalone solar for obvious reasons can be a little bit challenging. Okay, maybe you can acquire that, hybridize it, and it makes more sense on that basis. But as a general point, you know, certainly further, you know, capital deployment on our end into Romania is inevitable. However, there's probably a bit of caution around that kind of early stage development, you know, side of things, particularly in relation to solar. You know, there's, you know, as in everywhere in Europe, you know, grid connections are elongated, and you know, there are capture price concerns that will mellow out over time as you know, as the BESS fleet gets, you know, built out. But yeah, as a kind of general principle, it's still a very good place to do business from at least my perspective. And as I mentioned earlier, I think there are some good sort of fundamentals that are coming through that make now a very actually good time to, you know, invest into the country.
Thank you. I have a very stupid question, but I am very much looking forward to your smart answers. Are you ready to only operate the assets in Romania or also to sell them at the right price? I don't know. Let's say we enter into OECD in 1 year, and a huge wave of investors will be here looking for.
Everybody is asking this, okay? And the answer is in the question. You know, at the right price, you sell. Okay, but I can.
But do you count on it or not necessarily?
No. We are not counting on this. We are again. It's every company, by the way, has its strategy. There are a lot of investors that you know, they are when they have the ready to build, and they're already looking to sell to somebody with a COD or X2. We know that this is the strategy. It's okay. It's not a problem. Every company has the strategy. We are looking on the long term. If the price will be good, we will sell. Might be we make IPO, some kind of selling. You know, there are a lot of possibilities, and of course it depends on the market, in the general market, in the Romanian market. Everything is open, but the strategy, at least
for your
Nofar,
company, is not to sell
go to the long term and to operate it.
Is this different for Nala?
No, exactly the same. We don't have a kind of develop and flip model at all. It might maybe something opportunistic here and there, but no, we have a long-term strategy, and that, you know, very much sort of impacts the markets we look at. It is nice though to see from a kind of valuation perspective, as things come through, discount rates, you know, go down and stuff like that, to see a bit of value accretion in the countries that you're operating in. And Romania is a country where you can get more of that than, for example, Western Europe, strictly speaking. But no, we're a long-term holder. We're not a develop and flip type institution.
Thank you. Mehmet, what is your strategy?
In line with the gentleman, you know, we are in the asset build-up phase. We are late into the market, 2023. So we are looking to other opportunities as well. Of course, the price, if the price is right. Actually, in our business model, we do as well COD projects, so for Turkish investors. But probably our strategy would be, going bigger projects with bigger batch sizes and standalone. We do lots of co-located. We have 1 or 2 projects with small standalone. We will do more of that. And if any opportunistically sell opportunity is there, we will do that. And maybe, having a sizable portfolio might as well bring fresh capital through an IPO or something like that. But that's down the road. It's like 2028.
Thank you. One final question from my side, and then I will open the conversation to the audience. Romania has accepted and is forced to increase the rate of interconnection with the general markets outside in the region. Is this a problem? Is this a risk for your business, having energy coming in maybe at lower prices? Or is this an opportunity because you have the chance to sell eventually? I don't know. How do you see it, and how do you...
In some ways, it's both, really, and you kind of have to see how the market dynamics play out.
At different hours of the day, or how?
I would say more just based on how the markets play out as the interconnection is increased over time, because it doesn't happen overnight. It's a kind of longer-term thing. I would generally see it as a positive thing, bringing it in line with more harmonization across Europe. I think Romania has a lot of advantages there. As we were saying, land costs, irradiation levels, stuff like that. I think it can make Romania potentially more competitive, notwithstanding that, interconnection with countries like Ukraine also has, a lot of benefits in terms of exporting power and stuff like this. So I would see it as a good thing, but it's difficult to tell.
Okay, I take out of your answer that there are more hours with good prices than hours with cheaper electricity coming in.
I wouldn't say that necessarily, but it very much depends on the technology. If you're looking at the capture price, for example, but looking more into that kind of 5-10 year horizon, I would say that Romania would be probably well positioned to support to export power more cheaply than its neighbors.
Okay, good to hear. What's your point? Is it the same position?
Same position. It's positive, as I said earlier. The cost, the capex, the O&M of Romania is cheaper than most of who is in Europe. Okay, so the opportunity is there. Okay, you cannot compare the cost in, let's say, comparable market, Poland, which it costs much more. And so if a Polish company needs to compete with us, no chance. Okay, so we will take it, very easy. So for us, as investors in Romania, it's a very positive situation.
Thank you. Please.
And the same, I think, it will be positive for the same reasons that has been mentioned, plus additional, if you look to Southeastern Europe and South Europe, including Italy, generally they are high electricity price markets. And that will, with build up of electricity of Romania, the flow of the electricity will go into that direction. I can imagine going through Hungary to Italy, a good amount of electricity if the interconnection is good. Because Italy, due to the fact that it doesn't have fuel, primary resources, it's always in the necessity of cheap electricity.
Okay. And the new changes in the
direction
directive
Ukraine
probably helpful. Thank you. Any questions for the gentlemen here on the stage? I will ask once again, but before that final try, if any of you want to add something in closing this, please.
I will add only the fact that being the only Romanian on this panel, I am very happy to see that the investors in Romania are considering Romania a good place to invest, and they are thinking long term on the investments and the Romania as well. And related the financing and the projects. Not to forget that the profit is the one that is allowing us to obtain the financing. The capacity of reimbursement is the one that the bankers are looking for, and waiting for more to see the potential like you observe in Romania.
Thank you for your contribution. And it was 3 investors in Romania, 3 great ambassadors for the Romanian energy market. Thank you very much.